Hey everyone, today I'm going to make a quick video just kind of going over something that I, once again, don't see a lot of sites doing right now, and it's kind of a pretty big deal, especially if you want to be able to get a whole lot of customers in 2018 and beyond through Google organic search traffic. So basically I'm just going to get right into it and kind of discuss, what exactly am I talking about. And specifically what I'm talking about is called SSL, and it's basically a site lock for your website. Now, what does that mean exactly? Well, I have some stuff pulled up for you to see. So basically, if you ever go to a website and you notice something that says, you don't see it in here because I'm using Safari, but if you use like Google Chrome or something like that, you'll typically see a website begin with something like, HTTP or HTTPS. It literally looks just like this, and that's specifically what I'm talking about. So most websites, unless it's like eBay or Amazon or something like that, especially in the past, a lot of them have been HTTP. So what is HTTPS and how does it differentiate itself from HTTP? Well, basically this is going to kind of explain what this is, and I'm just going to read this to you, real quick. So HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. It's a protocol that allows communication between different systems. So basically, it's a method for a website to display its information to you. But the problem with HTTP is that it's not secure. So theoretically, it's not theoretically, this can happen. Third-party websites or other brands and companies, they can access your information because it's not secure. It's not as advanced as something like maybe like your bank account being able to be exposed, but in the same way, it's like the stuff and the data that's being communicated between a certain website and you, it's not locked down. It's basically like, you're shouting across an open environment and a bunch of people can hear you. It's not secure, if that makes sense. So what HTTPS does is basically any communication between you and the website is completely in a little closed loop, and nothing outside of that loop can read that data. And this is becoming a really big deal in terms of privacy. There's a whole lot of stuff going on with Facebook right now. It doesn't really have to do with HTTPS specifically, but it all comes back down to user privacy. And you want to make sure that if you have a website, that your users' information is private and that they feel safe and secure when they're visiting your website. So basically, that's all HTTPS is basically that S can basically stand for security. It's a way to lock down your website. So basically any communication between your website and your customers is completely secure. Now, something to keep in mind is that this isn't a huge deal, but this website's called Search Engine Land. They have a whole lot of good data and they do a whole lot of good research. It's a really good blog for just search engine optimization news and updates and things like that. So this article was written in 2014 and they were already kind of starting to talk about things like this. So basically, back in when was this, August, Google had kind of already said that they were going to start moving to, things like HTTPS, and they were going to start giving more consideration to websites that are like that. And basically, that's basically what this says, is Google starts giving a ranking boost to secure HTTPS. Now, it's not making a huge deal right now in terms of ranking, but sometimes, let's say, you're trying to rank for Dallas Chiropractor, right? Because you want more clients for your business. And you're basically battling position 1 and 2 between you and your competition. And let's say, you and your website's, your competitor's competition are equal. That could be like a tiebreaker. Something as simple as HTTPS could be a tiebreaker for Google, and they might give the advantage to the website that's more secure, because at the end of the day, Google wants their users' information to be private, except for themselves, obviously. Or Google, because they want all your data, but Google wants to make sure that they're providing the best user experience for people using their data and their software, and something like that can be a really, really big deal. Now, like I said, this was in 2014. They were already kind of talking about how they were seeing data that skewed towards sites that had this lock on their website, and see, this one does. You can see this little lock here. If I click on that, it says it's an encrypted connection, right? So they were already kind of skewing towards that, and the more data that I've seen shows that it's going to continue to be like that. Now, it's still not a huge factor. Like, it's not like the only thing that's going to make you more visible, but it's definitely one of those things that you want to get done as soon as possible. And then Google just released another update a couple of months ago saying that effective July 2018, Google Chrome's browser, which is the #1 browser, they're going to mark non-HTTPS sites as not secure. So basically, if someone's visiting your website, after July 2018 using Google Chrome, they're not even going to see your website. The first thing that they're going to see is Google Chrome saying, warning, this site is it's not locked down, it's not secure, and that's going to lose a whole lot of traffic to your business. And there's a lot of different ways to get SSL. I'm about to get into that. You could pay a professional like myself. You could pay your hosting company or whatever. I'm going to give you a couple of different options on how to do this. And it's typically not too expensive, just depends on how time consuming it is. But if you're not technical, there's a lot of ways that you can get this done. So depending on who your hosting company is, and if you don't know what that means, then just don't really worry about it right now. But for those that do know what a hosting company is, some hosting companies basically have a affiliation with a couple of these websites called Komodo and Let's Encrypt. And if I click into Let's Encrypt, basically this is a free, automated, and open certificate authority, and these are all of their partners. So if you basically are partnered with any of these companies here in terms of who's hosting your website, you can get a free SSL encryption, and it's going to completely encrypt your website and make sure that any information that passes between you and your customers is 100% encrypted, right? That's a really big deal. Now, let's say you use a hosting company like one of the ones that I use predominantly, which is HostGator. They don't really allow you to do it this way. There's a couple of workarounds, but basically, if you're someone who can't do this free method, then you're probably just going to want to pay for HostGator to do it for you, or GoDaddy. Like, for example, if I click on this tab for GoDaddy, they're selling as low as $59.99 a year, protect multiple websites. So they have different packages. You can expect to spend for the SSL specifically itself like $60. If you're paying a professional to do it for you, obviously there's going to be a fee on top of that for their time essentially. But you're looking to spend not that much money to make sure that you don't lose out on that traffic, because if you don't have this beginning this summer, you're going to miss out on so much traffic, and that can be a whole lot of extra money for your business that you're literally going to lose to your competition. This is just one of those things that most people don't know, and you want to make sure that you have locked down. And if you have someone like HostGator, for example, you type in hostgator.com/SSL. I also just Googled HostGator SSL. You can log in with your information, and they're basically going to present a screen to you saying, hey, you can buy this, and they'll install it for you, and they'll kind of handle all the heavy lifting. So you don't really have to worry too much about that. But one thing to make sure is that if you have someone managing your online presence and you're moving from HTTP to HTTPS, you're going to want to make sure that the SEO aspect of it, like all of your off-signal signals coming to your website, you're going to make sure that those all redirect properly to the HTTPS version. So basically, Google is going to see that you moved your site the right way, and they're going to be able to give you all the credit that your website's built, all the authority that it's built for this new version. Because if you don't do that properly, Google's going to treat those two things like two separate entities, and you definitely don't want that. So I wanted to make sure I get this information to you. I'm basically getting some more messages about people saying stuff like this. Matter of fact, I got one yesterday and then again this morning about people that were having some SSL problems, and some people know about this and some people don't, but this is not something that you want to neglect. Now, keep in mind, if you just have a normal website that you don't get a lot of traffic to or something like that, that you basically just use as a sales mechanism that you're directly referring to people, let's say through email, it's not as big of a deal. For not even all my sites are SSL, because not all of them are meant for SEO and stuff like that. But in particular, if you're getting a lot of traffic from Google and you want to keep that traffic and you're selling especially e-commerce products and stuff like that, I don't even think you can do that without HTTPS. But you're going to make your users feel more secure, and that's the number one thing. And they're going to look at you as an authority when everything just looks right. You don't want your user to see any red flags or anything like that at all, because if Google says that your website's not secure, I guarantee you probably half are going to just click back, or maybe even more than half, and you're going to miss out on a whole lot of traffic. So if you need any more information, feel free to message me, obviously. Please like the video if you enjoyed the information I'm giving you. Give a comment. I'm thinking about doing a giveaway soon. I'm trying to figure that one out still. I want to give you guys something that I know that can provide a lot of engagement and something that people would definitely recommend. So if you have any questions or any assumptions or things like that about other videos that you want me to make, or even giveaway ideas, please let me know. I'm completely here to help, and I want to make sure that you guys know all this information, because not a lot of people are sharing this right now, and I want to make sure that you guys are in the know when it comes to what's happening in 2018 and how to make sure that your business stays thriving and you have a good online organic presence. So thank you again, guys, for your time, and until next time, I'll talk to you later.